this is basically a pilot episode of a video series that I might be committed to make more guide videos on this one. Let's start with the voltage ranking observation, but for dummies. So this is this is the probably helpful guide to voltage ranking video. So disclaimer: I am not an expert. I just observe the game song info and also check allstars.kirara more than 30 times a day, like more than 30 minutes per day, just to give you guys the idea on how to tier in voltage ranking. This is the March 2023 edition, so this is the first episode of the video guide that I might be doing in Love and All Stars. If you like it, please check out the full stream if you're interested to check out what other stuff that I'll be doing. So, there are two ways that you could do voltage ranking. Here's the preface one. It will be split into two charts, and it's no particular order, just a recommended base guide. So this is gonna start with voltage gain method and SP fill method. Now, if you're starting off in Love Live All Stars early in the game, voltage gain was one of the easiest ways to invest your team, and hopefully get up by max limit increases. You might be able to gain more voltage score. Now, the pros on voltage gain, based on my observation, is that you're likely going to cap now at 100 to 130k. Back in the old days, we we used to have like a voltage cap at 50 to 65%, which the SP fill method will be the way to go. Yeah, there's going to be a little bit of context. Next on the SP fill method, SP fill method, it's like one of the fun advantages of it because you'll have to rely on SP type or skill type SP fillers, and the chance to fill SP varies with SP fill booster or skill activation rate. So these can be manipulated by having skill rate buffers for backline cards, or if you have SP full boosters on either the star earrings accessories, or if you have a backline SP full booster that does this on SP burst or during a field chances like Party Shioriko or Cheer Squad Honoka. It's also the most recommended for voltage rankings. Now, there are disadvantages though, so they're pretty expensive to build. Another one was relying on critical potential. What I mean is that I think it's the good idea if you have either high appeal stat and have like 40% critical rate or above, or if you have or if the SP filler focuses on critical potential, I'd say go for 55 to 60 plus. That that way it'll be on the same level as voltage gainers. Because voltage gainers, while they have very low critical potential, it makes up for having very high voltage gain on expert and challenge songs. And the another disadvantage is that SP or skill type cards can use SP fill skill, which is the only skill that does this. Otherwise, you'll have to rely on SP fill show ability. Now, there is an asterisk here because 7 to 9% is 33% and 10 to 12% for 11% skill rate. But 6 to 8% if it's an event war. Skill types can use SP fill by 6 to 8%, 5 to 7% if it's an event war. First one up is Bokura wa Ima no Naka de. Bokura wa Ima no Naka de has an active attribute, and stamina damage is low. If I check on Suyo.p, base note damage is 331, so I indicate this as stamina damage is low, so that it'll be simple. Now, specialty is fortunately non-active cards get like 20% appeal debuff, so you can cleanse this. You can use a debuff removal show ability like Royal Angel Recall, Flower Symphony Cosmic, Angelic Angel Rumi, or Rainbow Rose Cadden. So there are 2 trick notes, fortunately, even though there's like 6 One is that it inflicts 2000 stamina damage, and it doesn't have a condition, but it will always activate anyway. So these will take place on the second appeal chance, which is this one. On appeal chance success, restore 10k stamina if you're to succeed. And the second trick note is full 25% SP gauge. This only happens on appeal chance 4, which is this one. Get 64% SP voltage, but during the AC, SP cards gain 100% base SP gauge fill rate. Now, for the appeal chances, it's pretty easy to predict because it's a very early song in Love Live All Stars in Story Chapter 8. So that's why they're pretty much low at the time. It's pretty easy for those who are starting out in the game. If you're gonna play this on advanced difficulty, I do recommend either follow the AC stuff or or do the dummy tip that I use. Use any card to score high. And also on the last appeal chance, however, in case if your team does not reach 64 SP voltage, then I would recommend preparing a filled SP burst, and then once the appeal chance starts, you can use the SP burst to clear the AC pass. Um, I'd say if you need at least like 32,000 and above to hit SP burst twice, but if you want to one-shot it, 64 and above. Alright, so here are the recommended cards. They are unordered chart, not particularly like best cards that you can use, just the recommended guidelines. So for the voltage gain method, Secret Galaxy Cannon, and Elegant Aquarium Daya, which is a recent addition to the festival lineup, and Scarlet Courage Tetra, pretty much the OG best voltage gainer. There are also a few regular URs that you might have from the event banners. So Maiden of the Fall Foliage Rico, critical score, backliner, crit rate boost during appeal chances. From around stage I still use her even though even though her skill set does not work on backline cards. But she's basically a critical score with frontline effective appeal buffer on strategy switch. This works on active cards, I think, so it's also on the list. Signs of Spring Rin, voltage score, same strategy appeal, support, heal rate buffer, active cards, and then the other 4 are actually S-stars, which you can use for to getting into S rank. For SP fillers though, there's also a separate chart for this one, so now I also have other recommended cards, but it does not fit in the 10 chart, the 10 card chart that I wanted to do. But you can still use Pretty Pictorial Kasumi for backline. Rain Boss Blossom Ruby, active skill. Now she is a regular UR from the June 2021 event. She does have a critical rate buffer on all slides for strategy cards. Unless your active scores can hit criticals often, then she may not be necessary but can be a scorer on her own. Both from Knitting Theoretical, from the Knitting event, which is also White Day last year. She can buff voltage gain and provide same strategy appeal buff akin to Scarlet Courage Tetra. If your team is struggling to maintain HP, then Theoretical's show ability can briefly heal your team every appeal chance start to finish them fast and keep green stamina. SP fillers. Unfortunately, there are a few SP fillers on the regular side, so that's why some of the SP fillers can be obtained in limited banners. So Tropical Squash Kotori is still the most valuable SP filler. Like, despite being dethroned by Yoshiko, she still maintains well thanks to her large dual passive, which is 8.4 and 4.2. Rico, she does that to buffer skill rate on herself. Good standalone SP filler, but she could have been dethroned by Kotori like a few banners ago. Leisurely Scramble Lanju. Least recommended card, but if you don't have any other SP fillers, well, I think I could use this Lanju card just for the particular purposes of getting the score high. Now, there are a few SB fillers that I check on allstars.kirara. Um, so, there are only two SB fillers. One is on SB type and one is on skill type. So, there were barely any new cards recently from the active SB filler side. But if anyone has this wedding eye you are, thank goodness you might use her for to spam SB burst on Bokura wa Imanolakate. Nico, if you do have one, pretty useful. Just go for the skill rate buff card, skill rate backline cards. Now there are no other active SP fillers, so I decided to substitute. Um, I decided to substitute for Happy Sweet Extra Hanayo, which is a pretty good SP fill booster because he does have same strategy card bias. She also has the chance to fill SP on appeal chance board, so she's not out of the loop. Rather, she serves a different purpose for those who are going to put her on beside I and Nico or any other active SP fillers. Another one, for SR cards, not much to write home about. But if you have any of those maxed out, do use them if you don't have any other options for Bokura wa Iba no Nakade. Next one is MIRAI Ticket. Normal attribute is natural. Stamina damage is medium. According to Tuyo.b, on advanced difficulty, the base note damage is 729. So it's actually the strongest songs that you have to deal with. And the specialty is non-natural cards, which if you have cleansers like Royal Angel Rico, you're not going to bring her anyway because it's base appeal debuff. There are two trick notes, however. Gain 10% for 20 notes, this affects voltage cards, and gain 20% skill rate, which affects guard cards. Appeal chances are easy to read, however, because all the appeal chances except this one, the 64,000 SP voltage, you're just going to have to you're just gonna have to one-shot it as much as possible. And on AC success, increase XP voltage gain by 20% for the next SP burst. All will reward you this much that voltage, but if you're to fail it, like 19k damage. Then on the last AC, however, if you have like an almost filled SP gauge, save those for the last appeal chance because you can one-shot this by the time if you have like stack of SP voltage to 64k. The appeal chance is AC6 appeal chance is very short. The left is like 5 notes. Make sure to prep up your SP fill for the last AC. Recommended cards for the voltage gain side. Snow Fantasy Ellie will be recommended on this one because natural skill, and because she is a critical scorer and technique healer with backline duel. She also gained voltage on SP burst. I'd say this Ellie is useful, especially if you have to deal with songs that deal heavy damage like Ito Station ga Kiko Eru, and also Mirai Ticket, which is 729, which is not enough for initial one though. The Yo in Wonderland card. That's why I put Ellie on the recommended list. There's also Hanamaru in Wonderland, Festival to Hanamaru. If you have her, like voltage gainers, same strategy. Good news for Hanamaru though is that she can be useful on same strategy. She does have a stackable base appeal, but this only works on appeal chance success. So it's guaranteed, however, so it's good enough for Hanamaru to be useful in Mirai Ticket. Next one, Grand Blue Fairy and Rin Studio. Karan and Rin are tied together because they have the same skill set, but Karan has the slightly better inflated stats than Rin, and both of them have natural focus appeal passive, base appeal buffer on strategy cards however. Now on the regular side, the latest addition to the event banner, Hinamatsuri Hanayo, you can use her if you were to scout her during the event. She does have the natural focus appeal supporter, buffs the appeal stat for naturals on appeal chance success, which is 30%. Not much to take in, but is a pretty pretty good reward. If you don't mind like not wasting star, if you don't mind saving star gems for the next like anniversary banner. Yeah. Next one, Story Seeker Umi. A critical rate buffer with natural focus appeals superior. Heals briefly for a technique on the field can start. I consider this one somewhat better than Colorful Knitting Shioriko, but they're different attributes, so I would have done this one since your own since she might be useful just for the heals. Now she's not SP filler, however, which I think the point of clearing Mirai ticket is that you have to like maximize your score, but also deal with medium damage. I will have to append this on the defense chart for the next voltage ranking guide video. Next is Present for You Ellie, SP voltage gain buffer, technique buff for natural cards. Then she does restore stamina on SP burst by 20% of her technique. So she's the better version of Noble Princess Rico if you have her in from the Three Princesses event. And if you have her maxed out, you can use her. Um, you can use her. You may stack Noble Princess Rico with Present for You Ellie, since they'll be able to like help out the SP field. So yeah, it's a pretty decent defensive semi-defense card, but you can use her for just increasing your SP voltage gain. But I doubt she'll be any useful because no 250,000 voltage cap. Then here are the SR cards. If you do have them maxed out, you may use them. Now for the not yet. So, notes on the team building when using Festival 2 Hanamaru, there are 6 appeal chances. She get buffed up to 4.8. So that's why she's on the recommended list, but not necessarily must use. Other recommended cards like Snow Princess Mari, you can do this on dual strategy teams because her show ability uses appeal but gives more voltage in exchange for 5 notes less when using her voltage gain ability. Princess of the Sea God Kanon, natural voltage, which is an initial reward card, but pretty useful to utilize her passive and activate her show ability for 30% chance. If you are lucky enough to start the song with this show ability that she has. SP Fill Method. Pretty straightforward. Festival 3 Yoshiko is basically Party Kotori, but for festival lineup. Party Karin is basically she can fill SP, but she can fill SP gauge, but she can also do buff skill rate for same strategy cards. The caveat is that her passive is natural focus, so you cannot use her as backline. Nico on the other hand is the same as Festival, not the same, maybe comparable to Festival 2 Rina, so Punky Nico. However, her passive is natural focus. You may use her if you have those. Unfortunately, I also have to add in Present for You Ellie on both voltage gain and SP fill because there are only 2 SP fillers on the natural side, which Honoka, I guess it's a pretty good SP filler if you have her. Although she does have equal stats. Yeah, good luck with that. Also, I wouldn't recommend using Cyber World Aimu unless if you have bond boards unlocked or have a few options from non-natural alternatives. Do note that she is an event you are. For the SRs, Mirai Boku, Mari, Happy Party Train, Hanamaru. She's also Festival 2 card, by the way. So you get the joke for those who watch the synchronization stream from K-Lab. Oh well, memories. Rainbow Rose Cosme, although she does buff her own skill rate on the field chance success. Angelic Angel Haneo if you want SP fill and also heal. She could be your best luck if you have her maxed out. Now there are way too many recommended cards. If you want like dual strategy teams, the Lifeful Waltz Gamma is still useful. Sweet Little Angel Ruby works like Party Karata and Party Uni, but passive focuses on natural cards. party cards like Nostalgic Scenes Shizuku. I mean, actually, not Nostalgic, not Festival. So, Nostalgic Scenes Shizuku, Festival 3, and Kirina Party, both of them can actually buff natural cards appeal stat, but their show abilities can hit 250k voltage with enough accessory levels and boundboards card buff. Show ability, they're useless if you manage to cap out 250,000 SP voltage. Die Solution, not recommended because her SP overcharge show ability can cap out to 250. Fluffy White Snow and Noble for instance Rico, as I mentioned, you can use them for backline healing. Rico is stock but high, but Rico is unlimited but low. Torsico Rumi, you can use her on voltage gain but also on SP fill, just for backline and restore stamina. So this gives healers and SP fillers a brief grace period when dealing with strong stamina damage per node. So Miracle State Tune Nijigasaki Miracle State Tune Volume 2, version 2. Basically it's after the first chorus in the full version, then continues on with the second set of lyrics. Normal attribute for this song is elegant. There is a caveat, however. If you're new to the game and you want to unlock this song, you will need to clear story chapter 47, stage 10. Miracle State Tune stamina damage is medium for 716. So it's still as strong as MIRAI ticket, but slightly less. You can use backline healers if you want to. Specialty, elegant cards get 10% base critical rate buffer. So it's actually a base critical rate buff according to the song. So the trick notes are way too complex, but long story short, this one take advantage if you have Niji cards. This one take advantage if you have the same school cards like this. Gain 20% skill rate for SP cards, this one for guard card, and then there is the dreaded stamina damage node, which unfortunately if you have shielders, don't use them because those stamina damage nodes actually bypasses shields and it will always activate. It's before AC3 and AC6. Then crit rate, 20 for 10 nodes and 10% critical power buffer for 10 nodes. Both are recommended to have elegant cards. These will be useful for the 5th appeal chant, and there's 5%, which works before AC6. Then the last trick note is increased SP voltage gain for the next SP burst, which is at 3 nodes, so I think up to 30%. So yeah, these are the trick notes. They're very complicated, but long story short, if you have elegant guard SP, guard SP, and if you hit these with an SP card, if you have Niji cards, then you can basically increase your appeal for the whole song. But if you don't have a guard card, yeah, I recommend hitting this trick note with a guard card for Niji cards. That way, all Niji cards will get an additional 30% appeal until the song ends. So up to 30%. Appeal chances, they're very complex, so that's why I decided to use a tip. So these brackets right here, square braces, they're basically whichever AC effect that will take place. So, example, get 279,000 voltage. If you're to clear this AC, SP cards get 30% skill rate for 20 notes. This is useful for the next AC, which does this one. Gain 130,000 SP voltage. On AC success, guard cards get 25% skill rate for 25 notes. So prepare filled SP burst to clear the AC, and then maintain 90% stamina until the end of the appeal chance, which is basically you have to let's see here. This is where the stamina trick notes come by 42 and 46 AC3. That's why you'll need to do this one. Stamina is if you were to clear this AC without maintaining like most of your stamina at green, or like a very slight gap on like the very tip top of the stamina gauge, there is a chance that you will have to fail, causing 21k damage. But if you do, but if you do 16, um, SP cards get 30% skill rate for 30 notes. So you can then use this for 159 SP voltage. Now, there's also a tip on this part because during the appeal chances and also the next one, stamina damage is increased by 300, which is 716 times 3, 2,138 per note. So I recommend um I recommend fill fill up your SP burst, and then once the appeal chance starts, use it now. Um if you cannot reach the SP voltage, either use SP voltage to gain buffers beforehand or switch to SP fillers to use the second SP burst. Now, I think the efficient way is to use SP voltage gain buffers since they're just temporary and it might be useful to get by this EF voltage. However, you're still gonna have to race against time with the stamina damage, so you have to do this in one go. Otherwise, it's going to be a big L. Get 30,000 with one unveil. Basically, if one of your cards hit 30,000 voltage and above, the appeal chance is successful, and you're not going to be getting inflicted with this one, stamina damage increase. So I recommend using Music Note Brooches, Flower Hairpin, or Snowflake Bangles, which is a DLP accessory, a Dreamlight Parade, to accumulate higher voltage. And then the fun part, last appeal chance is 1 million voltage. During the AC, elegant cards get 50% base critical rate. So, if it's correct, so elegant cards gain 50% base critical chance. So, basically, utilize trick notes and have fun. Meaning before AC 6, like this, before this one, gain 5% until the song ends. Then, once AC 6 starts, if you have Nijigasaki cards, you can take advantage of the Trick Note 2 and Trick Note 8. So you get like 30% basic heal chance. Then you'll have a chance to like finish the last AC with a Miracle State soon. Recommended cards as of March 2023 exchange event. Well, pretty straightforward for the voltage gain method. Festival 3 Shirika, Party Mia, and Festival 2 Shizuku. Both are voltage gainers. Mia is basically like Festival 2 Ayumu because she can voltage gain on her own appeal by 50%. Shiriko has the voltage gain buffer if her strategy is focused. Dethroning Festival 2 Ayumu. Then Festival 2 Shizuku, she can go commando by herself because she does have appeal passive on herself and then critical power buff, which could be useful to try to maintain the 100 to 130k voltage cap. Cherry Blossom Girl of the Night Emma, if you have her on the regular banner, that's useful as well. Appeal supporter for Nijigasaki cards, but does have an effective appeal buff on a success. Two other cards, however, are not necessarily voltage gainers, but if you do have Pioneering and New World Setsuna, you could use her just to deflect damage notes, the 10% damage notes. Lanju, if you have her on the Setsubun gotcha. Now, while she is a healer, the good thing about this Lanju card is that Lanju has very high appeal stats, so in exchange for low critical potential, she can be useful to both heal and score high. SR cards like Mirai Harmony Kasumi, Kadin, Rainbow Heart Rina, and Mijuko Dreamer Hanamaru are also useful on this song. Now, notice that most of the cards are Niji, because you'll have to take a look at the trick notes. You'll need Niji cards if you want to clear the last AC at the end of the song. That's why all of the recommended cards belong to Niji. There's only one from Aqua, however. Now, if you do have non-Niji cards, you can use them, but the list above here is to utilize the song's specialty and trick notes. Now, Fancy Pixie Kasumi is not recommended. on because she can do SP type shielder. You could use her if you have enough bond boards unlocked, card buffs, and limit increases, so that you can take advantage of her um, great critical potential. So gain voltage. Twinkle Starry Night Cannon is also useful, but the crit rate, buffer, and skill ability may not be necessary due to the song's special. Festival 3 Ruby, right, left, down, up, and gesture. Now, she is not from Nijisaki, but her critical limit unlock show ability can slightly score high during a field transfers. And then as for the SP fill method, here are the recommended cards. Not necessarily you have to like get them all or like build your team based on it, but I recommend Fluffy Goodnight Time Karata, the party one, because she's the only one that can match both the song and be part of the SP build strategy. As me, however, while I don't recommend her for shielding, well, just on the notes on team building, just use her for voltage gain. But the reason I would pick her is because of her technique focus healing on the field chance start, which is useful if you want to um if you want to try like try to heal as much as possible, but he cannot be used solely to heal against shield mirror stamina damage nodes. Back her up with other healers if needed. Now, depending on how high your technique is, it is possible to pass the field chances without wasting her show ability. Um, there's a new Festival 2 Arena, which is now better. Festival 3 Hanayo, you can use her for both SP fill and also increase the fill for all cards for a short time on SP burst. On the regular side, only one from the Meiji side is an SP filler, which is Sweet Dream Halloween Emma. Other elegant SP cards like Rina, you could use her just for the SP voltage gain buffer. She does fill SP on the field chance start though. Also, outside from Meiji, Haunted Princess Joshua, if you have her on an initial lineup, yeah, pretty useful. Same strategy though is technique passive. SP full booster on live show start 30%. The latest additions, like Miracle State 2 Mia, they can be useful on the SR side. Rainbow Waltz Yuriko, Colorful Dreams, Colorful Smiles Emma, and then Rainbow Heart Emma. All of them are SP fillers with different specialties, so do check their respective stats in allstars.kirara. There are other recommended cards like Spring Breeze Umi, which is a which is a muse alternative to Bari Kanata. In addition, that she has technique passive for her additional dual passive. She may stand out on her own without DJ Isaki buff with enough accessories, bond boards, and card buff. And lastly, present for your idol, she's not an SP filler, but you can use her elegant appeal and stamina supporter, then she can gain voltage on SP first. And lastly, if you have use SP fillers, particularly Festival 1 LE Party UV, Fear Squad Onaka, Elegant SP, she's also very good at standing out on Miracle State Tune. So yeah, that's all for the guide that I can give you guys so far. So it's a long one for a pilot episode, but hopefully this should be good enough to get you informed. Build your team for voltage ranking. Next month will be apparently expert voltage ranking, so I will have to try to simplify the next episode with I will have to try to simplify the next edition of the probably helpful guide to voltage ranking April 2023 edition. So I will only focus on the next voltage ranking with expert difficulties, since the the goal for this video guide is to help you build your team, try to choose between or mix and match with voltage gain or SP fill, and see what score highs the best. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this pilot episode of the voltage ranking observation, and I will see you guys in the next card breakdown video. or in the next Love Live All Stars stream. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like, comment, share the video, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell. I'm also streaming other games on YouTube like Genshin Impact, Bang Dream, Umamusume at 21PHC. Not just Love Live All Stars, but it's also upcoming Civ 2, so do check it out on my YouTube channel. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye. See you soon.